Hey guys, welcome to week 7. Halfway through, right? Just is flying, and you already completed your first project and submitted that last weekend, and hopefully today you're having a good Memorial Day with your family if you live in the U.S. Or like me as a part-time online teacher and a freelance Illustrate designer, you're working all day. Okay, so a few weeks ago, I think I showed you guys this. It took me forever to get this done, but I thought I'd show you this real quick. So here's that picture I think I showed of my sons that I was working on as Jedi. I think I showed the line work for this. I don't know if I did or not, but here it is, pretty much done. Just was kind of a fun little thing to do for them. We'll print it out and put it up in their room. So just thought I'd show you guys that. Just stuff you can do with Photoshop is so amazing. These Adobe programs are so powerful. And so this week you guys are going to be learning about Illustrator. So when you're going through here, the notes will be here, of course, after I finish making this video. But when you're coming in here to the worksheet, of course, you're going to need to download Illustrator. You're going to have to get a copy of that. Or, of course, if however you've been doing it with InDesign, you'll have to do a similar thing probably with Illustrator, unless you have Creative Cloud, in which you can just download it. But right here, of course, download the folder. But right here, this time, the course designers are trying to make this course the best it can be. And so what they decided to do with this video, and I'll probably do with most of them, is break it into small chunks instead of a whole hour-long video. So you can just see there's 16 different parts. They're all, a lot of them are around 2 minutes long, probably an average of 2 minutes or so. So you can go through and watch those, and that will help you as you're going through and following the steps to complete the worksheet. If you have questions or anything, of course, best if it's going to be something like a course that everyone in the course might have, great place would be to add it to the weekly discussion board, or you can email me if you feel like it's specific. So that's the first thing that you need to get done for the first due date, right? Which is Wednesday. So get that done on time, right? Or you can't get points for it. Right here is the draft. Okay, that's the second thing they'll be due on the second due date, which is Saturday. So it's going to be very similar to the one before. So right here, you click on this to open that draft template. And then you're going to be posting also a copy of the draft as a JPEG to the Photoshop or to the Facebook group to get critique from your classmates, as well as you're going to be uploading a copy of it to iLearn. And you're going to be uploading a copy of the draft and the draft report. Some people missed that last week. You have to have the draft report. It's worth 2 points out of the 5, so you don't want to miss that, or you lose a lot of points. So you want to make sure you go through that. So before down here is going to talk about the project. Before I jump into that, there's a couple things I noticed while grading your draft reports last week. Guys, when you're doing audience, please try to be more specific than and this is for your sake more than mine. But be more specific than adult males or adults who are in the church. I had some people that were very, very general. Try to be specific, really think, who is this for? And especially with this icon design project, you really want to get specific, who are you trying to appeal to? Because that will help you as you look at your design to make decisions. Remember, this is not just a graphic design class, this is a visual communications class. So communicating is a big part of it. So knowing what you're saying and what you're communicating is important. So really think about that with your audience, your message. Now, sketches. I made a video about sketches from last week. I recommend you check that out again. One of the things here is it says you need to have 3 to 4 variations for each layout or design. So that means you're doing 4 to 6 icons. So for each of those, you want to draw out 3 or 4 variations. That doesn't mean you draw completely new things. But if you're drawing a sketch, then you're going to take your pencil and you're going to be drawing. And, I have no idea what I'm doing at the moment. Let's say it's, like a flower. Don't hold me to this flower. So say you draw your flower, right? This is just on the cuff, so I'm sorry. But then you draw 2 or 3 more versions of it. Okay, well, that's cool. Let's see if I draw the flower. And then I want the outside petals to have a design. So you might, so you're going to take that and then you're going to just create some variations. They can be big variations. Maybe you're no, let's do a totally different flower. And, you do a totally different flower, of which case I don't know. I'm just making this up as I go. Okay, that's horrible. But it's okay if your drawings aren't perfect. Sketching is to help you get some ideas down, and so you waste less time in the program trying to fool around. So really be thinking about that. And what I sometimes do when I'm sketching is I'll draw something and then I'll be like, okay, how could I tweak that with the principles of design to make it better? How could I add more contrast? How could I add more repetition or proximity or alignment, all that kind of stuff. So think about those a little bit as you're maybe making your variations. And then with typography, just don't forget you need to put the name of the typeface. So if it's like Helvetica, what category does it belong to? Well, it belongs to sans serif. Okay, so make sure you add that. With color, you are supposed to take like a picture of your color scheme, right? So that's like the different colors that you're going to use, like the 4-5 colors that you're going to have in your design. But also include what the color scheme is. It gives you a chance to practice and help make sure you are using a color scheme. So is it complementary? Is it analogous? Is it monochromatic? Split complementary, triad, okay, all that kind of stuff. And then of course a screenshot of you having posted it to Facebook. Okay, so those are just some things. Make sure you're getting this done, you're filling it out, putting all the stuff it says in there that's required. Of course, you're not going to have to do typography for this one, and let's go into that real quick. I just thought it'd be good to maybe go over the project real fast this time. So here are some good examples, bad examples. Again, like it talks about, you're creating a set of icons that would be used on a device, right? So they need to, coming down here, here's our minimum expectations, right? To get 70% on this final project, you need to hit all of these things. You have to use Illustrator, okay? Can't use anything else. 4 to 6 original icons, no symbols. What it means by no symbols is nothing that you could type out. So not a Chinese character you can type out. So like just don't do anything typography wise. You could say, well, if it's an A, no, just don't do anything that's type related for this project. That's just a constraint that you're being given. So nothing that's a symbol like a letter or a number or like a character from Chinese or Japanese or another language, okay? So keep it all, no symbols of any kind, all original. So don't go find pictures of other people's like symbols they've done and then trace them. That is, not only is it illegal, you're breaking the rules for this. And if it happens, you could get a 0 on the project and face other problems. Make sure each icon's a single message, so it's not like a bunch of different things you're showing in one, just one message. All the designs need to feel like they belong together, like they go together. This is where your repetition is going to be really important, is making them all fit together. Okay, and there's a couple other things there. So right here, I'd recommend this past student work, because this course has just been redesigned. There isn't really anything in here yet, but right here, this has a bunch of cool examples by comm students in a vector class where they make vector stuff the whole semester in the comm class. This is a great place to go to see some really cool examples. Some of them are really probably above what a lot of you will be trying to achieve in this class, so don't worry about that, but it's a good place to go. So coming in here, one thing I wanted to just show you is there's 2 examples here. Like let's start over here kind of the beginning. So it's okay to do stuff that's just lines, but they need to be thick lines, and then you're not going to have a lot of color and other things in them, right? So thick lines, that's okay. But you want to make sure they're thick, because icons are really small a lot of times. So you want to make sure they're readable. So that's where contrast is going to be probably big for readability. So this one, what I find interesting, this example, they've got a good and a bad. So this is the good reason. This is the bad one. You might say, well, what's the difference? Again, you can read this from when it's small, right? It's much easier to read. There's no thin little lines. So if you come in here, the eyes are tiny. There's thin little lines that disappear even at this size on the sheep. Whereas if I click, this is far more readable than this is, okay? While these are very similar, this is a lot more readable. So you want to avoid some of that stuff. Even here, you can have outlines, but you can see they're thick and they're just super simple. You want to keep stuff super simple. Honestly, I feel like this isn't bad, but unless these icons are going to be seen a little bit larger, this would be bad, okay? Something like this is kind of similar. If this isn't seen a little bit larger, it wouldn't be so good. Like this might be a cool thing for like the little images, icons they put in like texting and stuff. Not the emojis, but the stickers that you can send like on Facebook or iMessage. So hope this gives you guys some ideas to think about. Again, you can see how all of these have things that are repeating, things that make them relate to each other. Often they have color schemes that relate somehow. Okay. So let's see, anything else? Oh, one last thing here. Last week I did this for 2 weeks ago, week 5. I'm going to do this again for this week. Facebook this week is just having you guys go find examples. I talked about this in this introduction to sketching video. Go find examples first of good icons you really like to give you inspiration and help you learn about it. So I'm going to recommend you guys go find some. You could share some from that Pinterest page that's vector that BYU Idaho students have done. You can, but try to find some other ones because everybody's going to be looking at those. Find some, share them, ask questions or make comments about icons and what you think, and let's have a really great discussion here. And of course, they'll then on Wednesday, and I know these are the ones from the InDesign project. Okay, I'm not showing you the ones for the icons. I haven't posted those yet, but on Wednesday is when I will post the post for the icons draft, where you'll submit your draft there. It will not be I'm going to try to do like a slightly different image so it's really obvious that it's not just your normal discussion, but it's the draft one. So I'll post that on Wednesday. Okay, so again, if you guys have questions and stuff, go to the Facebook group, or sorry, go to the iLearn, to the discussion board, ask your questions, email me, contact me. I'm thinking, I've told you guys last week, when I was thinking about doing something different with my office hour. I just feel like it's not very valuable because only occasionally will I have somebody come. And so what I'm probably going to do is I will still have my office, right, my online office, but instead of having one focused hour, I'm going to have a time period when I work on this stuff most days. So that's going to be from about 2 to 3:30. It'll be on the post. I'm still trying to pick the time, but it'll have it on the. You'll see it on the contact, and I'll change my time. But around like 1:30 to 2 for about an hour and a half. That's when I'm going to be primarily usually working on stuff for this course, which works good for my schedule. So what's going to happen is during that time, any of the days, if you ever need to give me a call, that's a good time to call me, or texting me is really good as well, or emailing me. If you want to meet with me in my office, just send me an email or a text and say, hey, could you meet with me in your office today, during that time, and just schedule an appointment. Or again, like I said, you can just email me or text me, and I'll try to have my email pulled up while I'm doing that. And so in case anybody's emails come in, I can email right back. So around that time in the afternoon, that's of course Mountain Standard Time, that'll be a really good time to try to get a hold of me, and you can meet with me in my office. Or if there's something really bad, we can try to schedule another time. My evenings are just really booked. I know a lot of you probably work during the day, but my evenings are just crazy booked. So I'd rather try to be a little more fluid and flexible instead of just having, here's an hour where I'm sitting in my office. I'm working on this from around 1:32 for an hour to an hour and a half every day. I'm working on this class. So I'm just going to say I'm available at that time. If you need to text me other times of the day, that's fine, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. But I'll try to make myself available that whole time, unless say I'm making a video like this, right? So that's kind of what I'm going to do. Instead of just an office hour, I'll just have my office time. You'll just need to get a hold of me if you want me to go into my Adobe Office so you can screen share your stuff with me, or I can screen share stuff with you, stuff like that. Okay? Hope that helps. Hope you guys have a great week, and good luck.